Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. Today, I have on Chrismer, and if you have not followed him on Twitter or he started a new channel, so that is down in the description below. He will actually. I'll let you tell us about your channel there, Chrismer. Not what you plan on
Um,
doing with it.
I plan on making some content based around the Mormon religion because I'm a former Mormon and I really haven't seen much content on Mormonism. Oh, Reese is here. Cool.
Reese Ducks Rock,
God damn
and
it.
remember, I'm owner of the channel.
But yeah, I want to make Mormon content. I'm getting around to it right now. I don't have a definitive schedule yet, but I'm going to try to get at least by this weekend on at least one episode or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
video on the subject matter.
Uh,
But yeah, that's what I plan on doing in the future.
yeah. Um, okay. Your channel is called More on Mormons, right? MORE space
Yes,
ON Mormons,
it's
right? Okay.
it's called
You
More on Mormons.
yes. All right. Just want to make sure I had the right name for everyone. First, you kind of told me a little bit about yourself. You have anything else you want to add on to that?
Well, let me see. I'll just go through quick run through like my quick history, if you don't
Okay,
mind.
that's fine.
It'll make sense in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, from a young age, I was always in the church. First, I wasn't in the Mormon church to begin with. Ever since I remember, at least since I was born, I was in the Baptist church until I was about 8 years old, when my dad pulled me out because they were trying to teach the children that the Earth was flat and evolution was a false religion. That stuff was all the way back in the 80s.
Oh,
So I
well,
mean, that's not a new thing.
isn't that
But
when Hogan started?
right
Around the
around, I want to
80s?
say, yeah,
Yeah, I want to say
in the
around the
80s,
80s.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when I turned, we stayed out of church. I stayed out of church for about 4 years until my grandmother on my mother's side started having health problems, and
Okay.
then I started going to church with my mother in the Mormon church. When I was around 16, my grandmother passed away, and I was really, upset about that, and as everyone would be.
Yeah.
And I decided I would get baptized in the Mormon church, and I, well, got baptized and went to church until I was around 25 or 26 years old, and I basically dropped out. And if you've ever heard the term disfellowshipped,
Yeah.
my parents didn't, but everyone in the church did, and they stopped. Because see, whenever you're in the Mormon church, members from the church will visit you randomly. They'll just stop by one day and say, "Oh, hey, we're here. We just want to talk. We just want to hang out, talk about the church, get a little prayer thing going." Well, they stopped coming. They literally stopped coming when they knew I was out of the church. And yeah, after that, I've been kind of on a journey myself, going through different religions of the world, just studying them, looking at them from a fresh perspective. And I've studied Shintoism, Taoism, a little bit of Hinduism, not much. And right now, I'm actually looking at Buddhism, and I like world religions. I
Yeah.
just always liked world religions. I mean, I never, after I quit the Mormon church, I didn't really subscribe to any religion. So now I consider myself mostly a agnostic atheist. Well, as long as Steve McRae isn't here, he isn't here, is he?
Not that I see.
Okay, so I'll go with that. Agnostic atheist.
Yeah, I, you can use it on my channel. I'm not a Stephen Crane. Well, that's not what atheist means. This and then, yeah, we're not getting into that. That spiel. That's, I would love to have Steve back on my channel. I've had him on my channel once. I would love to have him back. He's a really smart, fun guy. Um,
Yeah,
so
Steve's pretty cool.
yeah,
He's pretty cool.
sometimes I think he uses philosophy a little too much, but overall he's a really nice guy.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, he was probably partly responsible for my first big, boost of subscribers that I got.
Okay.
Because I did a live stream with him. Um, but what made you leave the Mormon faith exactly?
What made me leave?
Yeah. Or was it like a list of things?
Well, questions. I had so many questions. I can't think of all of them right now,
Okay.
but just like for one, how does evolution tie into the whole Adam and Eve story? Because the Mormon faith does not take sides on the evolution debate. They won't say evolution didn't happen, but they won't confirm that it happened either.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So they don't have an official stance on evolution. So I mean, some Mormons say, yeah, evolution is, fact, it happened, get over it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then some are hardline, the conservative ones who say, no, evolution didn't happen. It's Adam and Eve. It all started with Adam and Eve, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, they're very centrist on that issue.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I know the former religion I was. The first one I was originally a part of, which was Lutherans. I don't know what they have an official stance, but Southern Baptists almost always have
Yeah.
that. Yeah. No, it didn't happen.
And they'll have preachers in primary school telling the kids the earth is flat and we didn't evolve from no damn dirty apes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that, some of the people I know, I don't think are flat earthers, but they are yaks.
Well, some are flat earthers,
Yeah, some are, but I think even the Southern Baptist Church has gone, yeah, Earth is round, get over it.
Yeah,
I think they've kind of got that one.
When they told it to us, they showed a quarter. The guy held a quarter and said, "This is the shape of the Earth. It has a dome over it."
That was also 30 plus years ago, so they do change.
Well, we didn't have computers back then, so they couldn't actually go on YouTube and search D marbles. So
oh god, no. we are not talking about
Forcibly suck my nuts.
Oh, that's Delano, not D Marble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Delano's
yeah. Delano's suck my nuts. D marbles is yeah.
Yeah, they're both bad. Let's just we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. They're both not to be. I wouldn't trust them with my cats.
I might trust them with your cat. Cats are evil. I'm sorry, that was bad.
They do have a tendency
to any cat people in the chat.
We all know that if the Earth was flat, all the cats would have knocked everything over the edge by now.
Yeah. Okay, the next question. What, in your opinion, was the craziest thing that you have seen, through your time in the Mormon church that Mormons believed?
I have to think about that for a minute. What is the craziest thing? Well, I really can't think. I mean, they're very level-headed people. I'll give them that. They're very level-headed people, and I mean, let me think. Something crazy? I mean, other than, I think religion on a whole is crazy. So I mean, one little thing from Mormons or Lutherans or Baptists or Methodists or anything.
Or Mormons. On
Huh?
Mormons. On Mormons, what was like the crazy thing you saw that they believed? Like if
The
you had to
crazy
just pick
thing, what
one.
is the name? Just pick one.
Yeah, just
Okay,
whatever you think might be the craziest, or if you have a particular one.
the Elohim lives on a moon, but he has
Yeah,
a physical body and lives on the moon. A moon, rather,
yeah,
a moon named Kolob.
yeah. Reese just said Kolob. I think of Kolob and magic underwear.
Oh
Those are the
God,
two
magic
that I
underwear.
think of. Don't worry, we'll get to that in due time. I because I'm not too familiar with them. What um like I know Mormons can't have like certain food and drink.
Okay,
Um, would you mind kind of explain what those are and why they might have those
okay.
rules?
The Bible explicitly says, I can't remember. It was it's one of the books in Corinthian actually spells out, certain drinks and everything and foods that we are not supposed to drink or eat. One of
Okay.
them is any hot drinks, which would be tea or coffee. Alcohol is definitely out.
Yeah.
You're not
Uh,
supposed to smoke. And there's actually one phrase in the Bible that says your body is a temple,
yeah.
and that's another thing. That's the whole reasoning behind it is that your body is a temple. You want to keep your body clean in order to be perfect back up in heaven or in the celestial temple in that regard.
Okay. Reese just mentioned something about said moon dwellers are giant Amish folk. Don't get me started on people living on the sun. Is that something with Mormonism?
No, I don't know where that came from.
Okay, I didn't know if that was. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, the celestial temple is supposed to be the highest order of magnitude, and there's places in the Bible that speak about
baby.
how heaven is, about something about 7 times the something I can't remember right now. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm drawing a blank on the sun thing.
Yeah, Reese, if you got any information on that, please put it in the chat. I'd be interested in seeing that. Like if you have
Oh
like
yeah,
a link or something. Quote from Brigham
Brigham
Young.
Young. Okay.
All right, I'll have to look into that later. That'd
Brigham
be
Young is,
interesting.
by the way, one of the living prophets. Which I is Brigham Young still alive? I'm not. I have no clue if
Brigham
he's.
Young is he would have been dead because didn't he take over um
Joseph Smith.
for
Yeah,
Joseph Smith? So he would be dead.
he dead. Yeah, he's long dead.
He,
Goddamn.
yeah, I don't think he's around anymore. If he is,
Yeah, he
he's
was. He was a living prophet after
yeah,
Joseph Smith passed away. See, that's the thing about the Mormon Church too. They have living prophets that actually add to the Doctrine and Covenants. Doctrine and Covenants is one of the Book of Mormon. It's like a preface in the Book of Mormon.
1877 was when he died.
Okay, he's pretty dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty
He
dead.
is
Well,
not
no,
just surely
there
dead;
is
he is most sincerely dead.
there is that Mormon University, Brigham Young University.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but
Um,
even the right now I don't know the prophet we have well the Mormons have right now. I'm getting my mind's like triggering back to those days. So
okay, you're fine. Um, the next one that I have is about, I'm sure, a topic everybody wants to know whenever Mormonism comes up. Is I'm sure everybody in this chat has heard about magic underwear. Would you mind talking about that and how that came to be a thing?
uh, okay, okay.
I
Mormons believe in modesty,
okay,
and the underwear thing is so that you always stay modest. You wear it 24/7, except the only time you take it off is when you're one cleaning it or two taking a bath. All the times you're supposed to wear it.
okay,
It's so that you stay modest.
all right. That's all right. I
Because
mean, it makes sense.
if you've ever seen a Mormon girl dress, it's always nothing above a poodle skirt. Except for one that I've only seen one. That her name is Eliza Dushku. And if you've ever seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you would know who Eliza Dushku is.
I think I've seen one. And thank you for the quote bit there, Reese. Just put a link in the chat. It says, "Who can tell us the inhabitants of this little planet that shines of an evening called the moon? When we view its face, we may see what is termed the moon, the man in the moon, and what some philosophers declare the shadows of mountains. But these sayings are very vague and they amount to nothing. And when you inquire about the inhabitants of that sphere, you find that most learned are ignorant in regards to them, as most ignorance are their fellows. So, with regard to the inhabitants of the sun, do you think it is inhabited? I rather think it is. Do you think there is any life there? No question of it. It was not made in vain." That's from Journals and Discourse 13, chapter 13, verse 271. So, Brian really wants that quote. Yeah, would you mind telling me how people are living on a moon when it's, when
no
it is
atmosphere? No atmosphere for one, no oxygen,
alone the heat.
Yeah, well, the moon would be. Isn't the moon extremely cold?
Varying on which part it is. Granted, it doesn't have an atmosphere to transfer the heat that much, but yeah, if you're on the sun, you're gonna catch fire because it's literally a burning ball of fire.
No, it's a burning ball of plasma.
The plasma, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I just was sitting here actually while reading that. Yeah, smart ass. I was just sitting here thinking of, wait, I know exactly what that was. Brigham Young predicted Futurama with that. Remember, there's one clip some YouTuber played. It was like, do you know how much an apartment on the sun would cost? Like, one of the, I think it's the one-eyed girl who said that. I didn't watch Futurama a lot. So yeah,
it's just underwear. It's the magic underwear keeps you safe in the vacuum of space.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe that's another thing. When you die, do you still have the magic underwear on though?
I don't know.
That's another thing, by the way, that it, for some reason triggered in my head. Mormons do not believe in the rapture, so they are not rapture ready.
Yeah. Oh god. Okay, I'm just sitting there thinking about if the rapture came out. Well, hey, wait, everybody just vanished. Oh crap! Is that a brown stain on my underwear? Crap! I need a second pair. Sorry. On the with the beliefs of Mormons getting a planet when they die, how did that start, or is that a misrepresentation of what they believe? And if so, what exactly do they believe?
That is a total misrepresentation.
Okay.
I said I researched this more last night, so I'm sorry, Godless Iowan, if I led you wrong there. They don't believe that. They believe that. God damn it, Reese.
What?
But yeah, that's a total misrepresentation. They believe that whenever they die, Mormons die specifically now. Whenever Mormons die, they go to the celestial temple to be like God. And that's where the misrepresentation comes from, because a lot of people assume when you're like God, then that means you can create your own planets and stuff, right? But no. They go to the celestial temple to be like God in the fact that they are formless, shapeless, and they have perfect bodies. Sorry, not formless, shapeless. That's normal Christians. That's not special Christians. That's normal Christians there. But yeah, they whenever they die, they get sent to the celestial temple. If they were really good Mormons, and did everything right. They never smoked a day in their life. They never drank coffee or tea. They kept all the doctrine and covenants and everything. They kept the word of wisdom. They go and have perfect bodies in heaven, in the celestial temple, where God and Jesus reside.
I'm just sitting there with perfect body imaginable, just standing there flexing, like they look like bodybuilders.
Like Fabio.
No, like a bodybuilder, like Schwarzenegger type. Back when
Oh
he
God.
was, that time frame. That's what I'm envisioning. I got awkward. I know. It's just like I'm just sitting there, like, hey, check me out. Yeah,
or if you're a girl, Pamela Anderson. Like
maybe.
gigantic tick, gigantic jugs, just.
Well, uh, that
But
one
yeah,
might be a little more up for argument because I know several girls who are like, oh no, that's not. This is a perfect. There's so.
a
Whereas
perfect Mormon,
guys, it's just more they want to be ripped. Girls, there's a lot more that runs
a
in on
more
that one.
a more perfect Mormon body, because Mormons believe that they're sent here to repopulate the earth, basically, because that's, I mean, what's the word? Spread out and be fruitful.
Be fruitful and multiply. Yeah.
Be fruitful and multiply. Yeah. Sorry, that's yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna have that many kids, you're gonna need big tits because you're gonna be breastfeeding a lot.
Yeah.
So you're gonna want reserves there. I mean,
yeah.
God damn. How did I just turn it into that? Just yeah. You're gonna want need nice wide hips so you have childbearing hips.
Yeah. Yeah. The next one is what are their views of, you kind of talked a little on heaven, but what are their views on hell as well, or are they ones that they don't even believe in hell?
They don't believe in hell. They don't. Okay, there is a basic structure to heaven. There is the celestial temple, which is where God lives, and all the perfect people, all the perfect Mormons live. And then there's the telestial kingdom, where new converts live, that after you've gone through a baptism of the dead, and if they accept that vow, they can be in the telestial kingdom, where it's still heaven, but they don't have perfect bodies. They just have like average bodies. joking.
I would honestly, I would be like, okay, that makes sense, I guess.
But by perfect bodies, I mean spirit bodies.
Okay. All right.
That's it. I don't get the whole perfect body thing, but still.
I guess I always thought your spirit body looked like your physical body, which great if that's the case, man. I'm screwed.
And then there's a terrestrial kingdom, which is outer darkness. That's only way it's explained, as outer darkness.
Yeah.
And those are for the bad people. Terrestrial is for both the bad people and the people who didn't hear God's message. So if you lived in the Middle East, say, and never heard about Mormonism, you were never had a baptism for the dead, you're going to the terrestrial kingdom. You're in outer darkness.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
So it's I never got.
It's a really. Yeah, I never got that in any religion. If you can't convince them, it's not their fault if they don't believe you. It's like, it never made sense to me.
Yeah, it never does, and it just doesn't. I mean, because in like Christianity, although hell is never actually mentioned in the Bible, they believe in hell. They believe that Lucifer lives there and eats dead babies. I don't know. eats aborted fetuses. There we go. Lucifer eats aborted fetuses. That's canon now.
Okay.
All the aborted fetuses are going in Lucifer's stomach.
Wait. So you mean I actually have to, you mean I'm actually following the Lucifer diet? Oh, okay. Um, the next one is and again, Chad, I'm starting to get to the end of my questioning here. I got three more left that I've written. So if you have any questions for Chrismer here about Mormonism or anything,
Oh
leave them
God.
here, and he'll try to answer them. Or if you have just any questions in general for him, just put them in the chat, and he'll try his best to answer them. Next one is Mormons are known for going door to door. How often did you do that, and was it frowned upon to not do it?
I never did it.
Okay, was that
So,
frowned
okay,
upon?
not really because okay, that's really not something a normal Mormon family would do. Usually that's left up to the missionaries, and that's an entirely different subject. Missionaries are basically it's a two guy couple or two woman couple who are sent out into the world to try to convert more Mormons. And they
Okay.
would, like you said, they would all day long ride on their little bikes and go talk to people to
Yeah.
try to convert them. So that wasn't something normal Mormons did all the time. I mean, some of them did. Just like I said, I had this one family that would come by here all the time and chat with us all the time. But then when I stopped going to church, he stopped coming by. I mean, I'm talking about like within a month of me stopping, and they every single month, my mom would ask me, "You sure you don't want to come back to the church? You sure you don't want to come back to the church?" I'm like, "Yes,
Yeah.
mom. I'm fine not going."
Yeah. Um.
But
Yeah.
yeah, for males, a mission is 2 years, and for women, the mission is like 6 months, I believe.
Yeah.
But basically, you can ask, where you can actually, tell them, I want to go here. I say I want to go to Japan, and if they got any slots open, they'll send you to Japan. You have to learn the language first,
Yeah.
and you have to go. But also, that's another thing I want to bring up: the whole speaking in tongues thing. Speaking in tongues to Mormons is not that speaking gibberish bullshit that a lot of Christians like to pretend is speaking in tongues. It's actually them learning a new language or speaking in a language that they've never spoken before fully fluently.
Yeah.
That's what speaking in tongue is to a Mormon. It's speaking in a language that actually exists on this earth right now without ever having any contact with it and speaking it fluently, which has happened before. I mean, that has actually happened before. But usually they find out that they had contact with that. But yeah, so I'm agnostic on that position.
Okay. Now, in our conversations, you mentioned they are polytheistic. Would you mind explaining kind of a little on that and like how that works?
Well, they believe that God did have a wife for one, and that they gave birth to all the people here. Basically, they spit out little spirit babies who are sent down to the earth. And whenever the spirits are sent down to earth, well, actually, they live in heaven for quite some time, and they decide whether they want to get sent to earth to further their knowledge, basically, and to become more perfect beings. They get sent down to earth. Whenever they send down to earth, they go through this veil, which essentially is supposed to like get rid of all your memories of being in heaven with Elohim.
Yeah.
And then you live
I,
your life down here, and if you decide to not go to the church, you're fucked. Unless someone does a baptism of the dead for you.
that okay. That why would you choose to come to Earth then? I mean, if you live up in heaven with God, And
Yeah,
that's
I
supposed to
know,
be the most
right?
perfect place. Why would you want to come to this? And I love Earth dearly. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to leave here anytime soon. But I mean, if you live in paradise and perfection,
To
this is a
become more
shit stain
perfect.
of a rock. Why would
Yeah,
you come
really.
here?
To become more
That makes no
perfect, listen to
sense.
them.
Oh, I'll take an imperfect body if it means I did.
And he's
Oh
like, getting to live in perfection. Yeah, fuck that. Fuck going down here. What the hell? What the hell's wrong with you?
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, heat shield. This is my channel. I am God. No booting me on my channel. um, the next part that you mentioned in our conversation were the words of wisdom, and you've already talked speaking in tongues a little bit. But would you mind kind of talking a little on the words of wisdom?
The words of wisdom basically lays out basic health advice, as in what to drink, what not to drink, what not to eat, all that good stuff, and not don't smoke, don't do any drugs that may elevate your consciousness a little bit, that might tweak your consciousness. You don't want to smoke pot because that's just no bad. That's just no good. But no, you're not supposed to, like I said, drink tea, coffee, because at least this is how the elder explained it to me. Because
Okay.
I actually asked the elder why we're not supposed to drink tea or coffee. They said, well, in the curing process, they use tannic acid, which is also used to tan leather. So imagine that going in your stomach and what it does to your stomach. I mean, now I know that's complete bullshit, but
Yeah.
little kid me said,
Yeah.
oh, that made perfect logical sense.
Yeah. I mean,
Tannic
if that
acid,
was true, it'd be like, okay, that makes sense, I guess.
but tannic acid is in a lot of other stuff we eat and drink. So I mean,
We can just ignore that.
now, but with red meat, they say to not overindulge in red meat, as in be modest. Don't eat it all the time, which actually is good advice. I mean,
Yeah.
that is good advice.
Yeah. I mean,
But
health
like,
wise, that's actually really good advice. But
and
still,
there's
screw
this
you. I like my red meat.
there's this another misconception where Mormons aren't allowed to drink Coke or Pepsi or soft drinks. To which
Okay.
I say, did soft drinks exist back in the 1800s when the Book of
I
Mormon was written?
I think it might have. I don't know. I
Okay,
gotta look that up. You know.
was it did it exist back when the Bible was written, the Old Testament?
Oh, that
Because
I can tell you definitely no.
that's where the rules come from, is the Old Testament. And it actually says, okay, most Mormons just don't drink alcohol in general, but it actually says you're allowed to drink alcohol, just keep it in moderation.
Yeah, except Jesus never followed that bit of advice. It was appeared soft drinks first made an appearance of in the 1700s or in the
Oh,
17th century. So in 1676, it looks like.
well, damn. And
So yeah,
Reese just pointed out it's mainly stimulants. Yes, that's exactly what it's stimulants.
yeah.
It's
Um,
like I
one
said
question.
with
Oh, good.
drugs in general. Like I said, like pot, cocaine, meth, bath salts, whatever. Don't do it. Don't do drugs, kids. It's bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Drugs are bad.
Okay, come on, you gotta put okay after
drugs
that,
are
don't you know?
drugs are bad. Okay. Drugs
Yeah,
are bad. Okay. There we go.
yeah. There we go. There we go. One question I just thought of. And then we'll get to Hans because he's I think the only one that I've seen ask a question. I believe it was Hans who asked it. Um,
Yeah, I smoke too,
yeah,
so.
yeah, Hans asked it. Uh, it was the golden tablets. Can you talk a little on those kind of the story behind them, or I know
Well,
there's a
okay, the seer stones first.
okay,
Can't talk about the tablets without the seer stones.
all right,
The seer stones, the first one I can't remember where it was found, but Joseph Smith found these two seer stones. One was emerald, and the other I can't remember the other one, but it was a green stone. and it was found in William. What? God damn, it's
I,
hard
I,
to remember names.
yeah.
But basically, he asked the guy, can I borrow it? And the guy said, no, can I buy it rather? He asked him if he could buy it because he claimed it was a seer stone that Urim and Thummim. Yeah, Urim and Thummim,
Okay.
the two seer stones. And he asked if he could buy it, and to which he said, no, I'm not selling it because
William Chase.
William Chase, yes, that's it, William Chase.
Yeah.
He owned a mine, basically. And they were digging out the mine, and I think Joseph Smith was working with him on that, was helping him with that, and he found the stone. And like I said, he asked since it was on his property if he could own it. William Chase told him, "No, I'm not. It's not. I'm not selling it." And so he pretty much ended up stealing the damn thing.
Yeah. I was like, wait, William, you're not looking. Okay, whoop, right in the pocket.
Pretty much. And he ended up going. I mean, I forgot. Damn. But anyway, he found it, quote unquote. I can't. I was doing air quotes, expecting you to.
Hey, you're fine.
He quote unquote. You found them. Damn. I can't remember right now. I used to have this shit memorized in my head, but he basically found them. He basically found the golden tablets because
Yeah,
Jesus, no, angel, not
Angel?
Jesus.
Yeah,
An
the
angel had
angel.
come down and told him where it was.
Yeah, was it Moroni?
Moroni,
Yeah,
Moroni,
yeah.
moron.
Yeah.
Always just chopped off the I and read it as moron. Well, they came to him in a vision and showed him where they were. He quote unquote dug them up. He quote unquote put them in a cap, and then translated them and went to his friend who was a publisher. Publisher said, "I can't verify whether this is true or not, so you're going to have to do this in front of me." And Joseph Smith told him, "Well, I can't, show you these tablets because it would because the angel told me not that God told him not to show anyone these tablets, and it was to remain a secret."
I'm just sitting here listening to this. Like, how did people buy this?
Yeah, I know, right?
To begin with, I mean, oh, okay. It's.
But then after that, he said, "Okay, but I've talked to my angel friend, and I'm going to have to hide the tablets from you. You can't see them. You cannot see them, but I will hide them. That way, we can kind of get around that whole, the red tape there, and I will speak it out loud. Now, it'll be a different version of what I wrote because I'm doing it this way. It won't be the same thing." I'm like, what? But yeah, he said it won't be the same because it's another interpretation of the same, tablets. And it ended up being completely different from what he first gave the publisher. Because he was making shit up out of his head.
Yeah.
Joseph Smith was a con man.
Yeah.
He was arrested for being a con man.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
If you watch the South Park episode, they actually got it pretty accurately.
Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen that once. Long time ago.
If you watch that episode on Mormons, they got it pretty much 100% almost. There we go. Reese, thank you so much.
Yeah. And then the question that Hans asked is, how many branches of Mormonism do you know about?
I know about the LDS Church in general.
Okay.
And then there's the Reformed Church, which I don't think they're still around. I don't think the Reformed Church of Jesus Christ of Latter Day Saints is still around. Because
Okay.
I think they changed their name. And then there's one of them that actually do still practice polygamy, but I can't remember the name of
Uh,
off the top of my head.
isn't that the FLDS
That might
fundamentalist?
be, yeah, that might be it. Might be the fundamentalists.
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
But yeah, they're the
Yeah.
only two I can think of in
FLDS. Reset.
FLDS. But they still practice polygamy.
Yeah. Isn't that? Yeah. Isn't that what Waco was?
Well,
The
the
Branch
LDS
Davidians.
Church,
Like, were they part of the regular LDS or were they part of the FLDS? Like, if you know.
the FLDS came into being in the. Excuse me. I can't remember. It's a rather recent occurrence actually. They're not
Okay.
that old. They started out whenever it became illegal in the United States. When polygamy became illegal in the United
Yeah.
States.
Yeah.
Native
Um,
Americans didn't come from Judah. Where they come? Sorry.
no. Um, actually, that reminds me of I don't know how accurate this is, but the part in Missouri where the Garden of Eden was.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Uh, thank you, Bodie. Bodie says Waco was an offshoot of Seventh Day Adventists. I thought
Yeah.
it was. I thought it was. I thought they were more. Sorry,
That's fine.
I was wrong. But yeah, the whole, you know, um, the whole Garden of Eden being in like Missouri or somewhere around about there.
I I
Do you know
couldn't.
much on it?
Missouri. I mean, that's where they say it was. I mean,
I didn't know there's like any reason behind it or.
no clue. Actually,
Okay.
to be honest with you,
Okay.
I think it's just a random place they decided.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
was like,
I
okay,
just.
Missouri.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean. Yeah.
Everybody
I
says
don't.
that.
Yeah.
Everybody says that, Heat Shield.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't want you to have. I wouldn't want to have you on for a talk like this if I didn't think you were cool. Um. I agree, Beach. I agree. It's easy to get crazy cults mixed up. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very
I
easy.
yeah. Like I knew they were the branch of Davidians. I just thought that was like for whatever reason was a branch of the
Well, I mean,
of Mormonism. Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't view Mormonism as a cult more than just. It's just a kooky religion. It's really
They
just.
were they were talking about the branch Davidians on that bit.
Oh yeah,
I
the
think
rest of the video.
because I thought the branch Davidians were more. I mean, I think they're kind of cultish, but I don't know exactly how much I would be willing to call them one more than like any other mainstream religion.
And the thing about it is, most people are pissed off about what they did, what the church did to them, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm not. I mean, I'm not pissed off at Mormons or anything.
yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I mean, I think religious people truly believe what they believe.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm pissed
I'm
off
not
at the
gonna.
church itself, but
Yeah,
not
oh
the
yeah,
people.
and that's why I think religion does way more harm than good. I'm not against people being religious. I mean, I have several friends who are pastors. Now, I think they're severely wrong being a pastor. I think they're actually causing more harm. But me and several of the other pastors, we've had
Especially,
long talks on that.
especially people like, especially people like, let's say Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen,
Oh
Pat
yeah,
Robertson. Those people that,
don't get me
and
started on Robertson. Ugh.
the what is it? They preach the Bible of prosperity. Yeah, that
Yeah, the
bullshit.
prosperity gospel people. Oh, take your pick on whoever you want from there. Um,
Yeah, I mean, just that's one thing the Mormons never got into, though. Gladly, they
yeah,
never, you know, I mean, yeah, they do demand that you give them 15% of your
it,
pay or any money that you earn, but other
wow.
than that,
I thought tithing was only supposed to be 10.
no, it's 15% in the Mormon Church.
Okay. All right. Hey, I mean, it's what I just always known it as 10. Okay.
Most churches, it is 10, but in the
Yeah,
Mormon, it's 15 for some reason.
okay.
I
All
think
right.
it.
That's
I think
interesting.
I think there's a Bible verse actually that backs that up, but again, I'm not that great on Bible
I
verses.
I can't think of any off the top of my head. Um, yeah, I've always understood it to be tithing was 10% across the board. Um, because of how it's worded in the Old Testament. Um,
Maybe
there's
they're
a
they're they're judging for inflation. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just uh,
That goes on
I,
earn.
I,
So
I get to see it now. Yes, yes. I'm Joseph Smith, and God has told me that He wants you to give 15%.
like, wait, I thought
Just
you.
like Mel Brooks had the 15 commandments. Okay, God, here's your 10%. I'm going to keep my cut. Sorry. Yeah, that's actually one thing I've always I've issued this challenge before, but I've never had a pastor ever want to take it. You, as a church, must pray for your finances for 2 years. No one can donate money to you. If they donate money, you have to give it back.
That'd be awesome.
And we're gonna see how powerful your God really is. If your church goes under, the moment your utilities get shut off, you lose the land from, well, they don't pay tax on land, so I don't
No.
think that would work. But the moment you can't afford something, the moment your utilities get shut off,
Well, see, that's
like
another thing. How much can they really be spending on electricity bill and water bill whenever they're only open like every Sunday?
yeah. Well,
Well, some
uh,
open up Wednesdays and yeah,
well,
yeah.
I was gonna say I know um the parsonage has um like down the church that I used to go to, where they had the parsonage, they use it for like other events as well. Like I think an AA group meets there every so often, whatever
Okay.
day it is. And you have like other events that are held there, and they also support missionaries elsewhere. Um, and they have a scholarship fund for people who want to for religious studies. Like if you're going to go like become a minister or something, or going to a Christian college, and you're a member of the church.
Okay.
So that's I know that's some of where the money goes. Because the first Wednesday was always the business meeting where they would go over the finances and that. So
Yeah.
I've been to a few of those, so that's kind of what I know it from.
Well, I'll get into another topic here that you
Okay.
probably don't know anything about.
I don't
Mar-
know crap on Mormonism, so if it deals with Mormons, then yeah, that's probably out of my range.
Marriage is quite different in the Mormon church than it is in any other church. To
Okay.
to get married, well, actually, it's not called marriage. It's called to be sealed. You are
Okay.
sealed on this earth and the next, on this earth and heaven and celestial temple. So if you quote unquote marry someone, both have to be Mormons for one, because you do it in the temple. Well, in one of the several temples that are here in the United States.
Yeah.
And I've actually been to a temple. I've done baptism for the dead twice, but I'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, I
that's
actually have a question
another
on that.
that's another
Yeah.
topic right there.
Yeah.
But no, you get sealed in the temple, and basically after you and your spouse die, you're reunited in the celestial kingdom.
Uh, yeah, I'm sorry. Just when you said you get sealed in the temple, I'm sitting there thinking like, "Hey, I know everybody joked about marriage being in prison, but let me out of here."
No.
It's just when you said sealed in the temple, that's immediately where my mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I'm
get,
sorry. I'm random.
but yeah, you get sealed in the you and whoever you marry get, to go up to heaven together, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Then there's another temple ritual is the baptism for the dead.
Yeah. I was
So
gonna ask, is it the Mormons who have, and everybody's had a fit about it, and rightfully so, about the whole trying to baptize Anne Frank or whoever it was so many times?
yeah, this
Okay. Yeah,
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 that was a severe fuck up for the church there,
yeah.
trying to
And
baptize
it's
Anne
like they
Frank.
haven't just done it once; they've done it multiple times. That's what just
Yeah,
you're like you think it would go over better the second time? No, it's probably gonna make it worse.
I don't know how many times they have done it, but
Yeah.
basically what you do is I can't think of the word right now. You take upon that their name and you're baptized in their name in their stead, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. It's done
And
as you're a substitution for the
yeah,
person.
ex-
Yeah.
excuse me. Yeah, you're fuck, yeah, hashtag fuck Utah. Yeah, but yeah, you're baptized in their name, and then they are given the opportunity to since they are in hell right now, to accept it and be able to go to the telestial kingdom or deny it and stay in the purgatory in the terrestrial kingdom in the outer darkness.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I can just see it now.
Yeah, we don't dig
Okay,
it up.
Chrismer. Oh man, I didn't do my GE reference. Forgot about that. Dang it.
Sorry.
Oh well. No, it's not your
Oh,
fault. I forgot to do my own bad joke.
but yeah, we don't. They don't dig up bodies and just dunk them in water.
Yeah, I figured that. I figured they didn't do that. I was just thinking about like, okay, Chrismer, here you go. We're gonna baptize you, for your great 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 grandma. Come on. Yeah, I can
Some
see
people
that.
do that. Some people do that.
Yeah, I just was thinking like, okay, like with you, I can see you doing something like, okay, where's my walker? Or some really smart assy comment like that. I'm
Where's my
sorry.
walker then? But no, they can. They often do that. They will request that a relative of them, they do a baptism of the dead for their dead relatives,
Okay.
and often we're just given the temple elders are given a list of just names of dead people they just casually have lying around, that people that have not been baptized. And
Yeah,
it's confusing.
I agree with Bodie McBoatface. It's as effective as prayer for sure. We're just not going to talk about what him and Heat Shield's conversation. We'll leave that one
Yeah,
in the chat.
it's as effective as prayer. But no, also there's another thing I forgot to mention. The terrestrial kingdom is also for people who accepted the Mormon faith, but then decided to stop going to church, who decided to
Okay.
drop out of the faith. So if Mormonism is true, I'm going to the outer darkness place. That sucks.
Uh,
But I
hey,
don't think
I'll join you. Don't worry. When you sit there and cause trouble together for all the other tormented souls.
it's. So
Uh,
technically, if someone were to do a baptism of the dead for Adolf Hitler, and Hitler accepted the baptism, he would go to the celestial kingdom, which means he would be in a kind of a heaven.
yeah.
About that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hitler was Catholic, so he's all right up in heaven if Catholicism's true. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, see, God just morally makes absolutely no
no
sense.
sense
I
whatsoever.
mean, I mean, both me and you being atheists, we're going to hell if Christianity is true. But people like the BTK killer, for those who don't know, he was a serial killer out here in Kansas. yeah, we in Kansas have some crazy screwed up people.
John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, I don't know if he was Christian, but Dennis.
Jeffrey Dahmer. He was a Catholic.
Okay, I did not know about Dahmer. Ted Bundy accepted Jesus before he was executed. Uh, Scott Roeder, I believe is his name, the guy who shot Dr. Tiller.
Wasn't
He was Christian.
Manson? Wasn't Charles Manson a Christian too?
I
No, he
don't
created
think
his own
so.
cult. He created his own cult. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he had his own.
yeah, where he thought he was God,
Yeah,
basically.
he was out there. Um,
Yeah, he was way out there.
well, actually, I think he's still alive.
Yeah,
So he's still out there
yeah,
because he's unrepentant. He has
yeah,
not said I feel sorry for what I did. He's like, yeah, so what?
yeah. I did it. I don't
Yeah,
give a fuck.
yeah. So I agree. He's where he needs to be. He
Yeah,
belongs in a cell. I
a
don't say
very
that about a lot of
padded cell,
people.
a
Uh,
padded cell
yeah, one of the.
with a key.
Well, as long as the key's not with him.
Well, yeah, I mean, lose the key, but still.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Bodie, yeah, we do now too. If you're talking about Brownstain, I mean Brownback. Sorry, I can't.
Sam Brownback. I can't
Yeah,
stand that son of a
he is
bitch.
now an ambassador for religious freedom to the UN. So he is now also your problem if you're in the US. And
Nikki Haley here.
and then we have whoever took over was just as squirrely, if not maybe worse than
Oh,
Brownback was. So. Oh,
Manson
okay.
died.
Manson died in 2017, in November last year. Okay,
Okay,
I thought he was still
cool.
alive and kicking. So okay, no, then he was a psychopath
He
who,
was a
yeah,
psychopath. He was a psychopath. But
yeah,
no, we have here in South Carolina, Nikki Haley, Henry
yeah.
McMaster now.
I
Ugh.
I, I don't know much on Haley, but yeah, yeah.
He's a
And you're
UN
welcome,
ambassador or
Bodie.
something.
You're welcome, Bodie. He
He's a
said, "Gee, thanks,
she's
Kansas."
Gee, thanks, Kansas.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, I wanted to get rid of Brownback, but I didn't want to give him to the entire U.S.
Yeah. Brownback is just I mean, he's the one that completely killed Kansas's economy.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, yeah. People are like, oh well, look here, this part it's grown because in Manhattan it's grown. Well, you also have to look at what's been going on out there at the time when it was.
Yeah, back then they had, good taxes
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah. And then when all the taxes things got put in, well, at the time, a lot of jobs were created through construction because Big Red One was coming back to Fort Riley. So all around Manhattan, we were building.
Yep.
That died out, and then guess what? Well, crap, we don't need build jobs anymore.
Yep.
And it completely went to shit. And that's why I want out of this state when I graduate, because the job I'm going for, what I'll be doing, there's no way I could survive here in Kansas doing what I would do. Because
Yeah.
I would be I'm going to school to be a history teacher.
Okay.
So yeah, there ain't no way I can teach history here.
Yeah.
One, I've had people, you know, you know,
One
I've had people
praising
call
Reagan.
me. Yeah,
Praising Reagan for one.
yeah. I mean, there were some things Reagan did that weren't bad, but there were also some things that Reagan did that is like, yeah, he should have been impeached. I think every president has done something that will get you impeached.
Jimmy Carter though.
Jimmy, I'm
He didn't do anything.
no.
I mean, literally, he did nothing.
Yeah, and that's what basically screwed the economy up so bad. But
Yeah.
I mean, and the reason Clinton was as is viewed economically as good as he is because he had the tech boom.
Yeah.
That's it.
Technology
If
boom.
the tech boom didn't happen, I don't think
And
Clinton would be looked at as good as he was.
then there was the housing boom as well.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
both.
all came to a bust all
Well,
under.
the housing boom came to a bust after Bush left office.
I thought it happened around 2007, before.
Well, yeah, it happened right around the time he
It
left
was
office.
almost right around when he left.
Yeah.
And that really killed us. That's when that thing burst, and it was.
Yeah. Well, Clinton left us with a pretty damn good budget.
Oh yeah, like I said, I have several things that I don't like Clinton for. I mean, I agree he should have been impeached for lying under oath. You can't
Eh,
do that. I don't.
eh,
I think I would say that about any president. If it was Trump who lied under oath, I would be right there saying, yeah, if you can prove he lied under oath, then yeah, please draw up articles of impeachment. I will, anyone who lied under oath, I will be more than willing to say they deserved it. I mean, Bush, you had the Iraq War. We did not have congressional approval to go in.
no.
That's an impeachable offense. Whether you like Obama or not, same with Bush, whether you like him or not, Iraq was an impeachable offense.
Yeah.
Obama, technically, with Fast and Furious, the guns going over the border, that was impeachable because that was done under his
Yeah.
orders.
Reagan
And
did the same
again,
thing. Reagan did the same thing.
Iran Contra, that's enough to get
Yeah.
Reagan impeached.
Exactly.
I mean, there. Like I said, I think almost every. I mean, hell, even JFK. Most people will say he's a great president. I'll say he's a great president. Bay of Pigs. That would have been enough to get his ass impeached. I mean,
FDR.
every president.
FDR, however, was, I mean, just he was perfect. He was God. FDR is God.
I have several issues with FDR personally.
Well, yeah, I mean, he
Um,
got in on the ass end of a war. I mean, didn't he?
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I can't remember. I'm bad. I'm bad with history.
no.
I'm thinking of
He might have been
LBJ.
with.
I'm thinking of LBJ.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking of LBJ. The World
FDR
War.
was around. He came in after the depression.
That's right. Yeah, it was depression. Yeah.
Because the depression hit, then FDR took over, and I think
He.
FDR with some of the stuff he did, we're gonna say this talk later. If you
Yeah,
want, but
FDR was
I think he
president.
kind of prolonged it a bit with some of the stuff because I just
Yeah,
uh,
Bodie just said it.
yeah
FDR was president when Japan
after
attacked.
yeah. So he was there, and then
And at the
uh,
end, during
Truman
the
was the one who ended it with the Fat Boy and Little Man.
yeah,
Which looking
Nagasaki
back,
and
that was I would looking back if I was in his spot, knowing what I know now, I probably would not have given the order.
no.
I
Well,
would not have.
well, I mean, with the order, with the Fat Man and Little Man, just I mean, that was a tough call. I
Yeah.
will say it was a tough
Oh
call.
yeah, I don't. I'm
and
glad I don't have to make that choice, but
and they didn't know the effects it would have.
yeah, that's why I said knowing what we know now. But if I had the information of that,
Oh, it's just a really big bomb, and it'll kill a lot of people.
and it's the best we got to end the war right now. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, let's get our boys home. Let's drop.
but
I would have
but
probably
you got
given
to
the same order if I
you
only
got to
had
think
what he
about
knew.
you need to think about this though. In Nagasaki and in Hiroshima, they weren't military installations.
Yeah,
They were towns filled with citizens, filled with people, innocent people
yeah. I
who weren't involved
I
in
thought
war.
that we were mainly looking to hit. I thought there were some military like factories in there that we dropped. World War II is not my
Well,
strong,
yeah, there
but
were
I think
military bases there, but it wasn't all military bases.
yeah. But I
There
think
were
we didn't know what all it would do to everyone there, and we just thought, oh, it's just going to demolish the base and that's it. I think is what they were kind
yeah,
of.
that might be what they were thinking, but it was way bigger than they
Yeah,
expected it to
yeah.
be.
Oh yeah. I mean, like I said, knowing what we know now, I would not have given the order to drop it. But if I only had the information that Truman had, I probably would have said,
Yeah,
yeah, bombs away. I
yeah.
mean, it's
Well, anyway, we're getting way off topic
yeah,
here.
yeah. Well, I got to ran out of questions. Yeah, welcome to my interviews. Half the time they have never stay on topic.
That's way That's
Yeah.
way off.
Yeah.
And see, also that goes back to the Mormon faith. When I was growing up in the Mormon church, they were very liberal.
Yeah.
And this honest truth. Where I lived, at least, it was very liberal.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, at least the one down here was. They were very liberal-minded
Okay.
people, and they vote Democrat
Yeah.
at the time. I don't know what happened
I,
to shift them to conservatism. That I don't know. They had made a hard line right into conservatism.
yeah. Yes, Reese. It was not just the military base, but what was hit was military.
Yeah, what was it was
It
military.
wasn't. It was yes,
It was a surgical strike.
yes. Oh yeah, it was very precise, and of course, our own whoever, I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was MacArthur was in charge of Pearl Harbor at the time. Uh, it's
Freemasons.
so it's just what was that? Pearl, which the putting the plane's wingtip to wingtip was one of the dumbest things that we could. All you had to do
Yeah,
was hit one plane. You
yeah,
blow one plane up, and they all went.
all
Now
down.
I understand why it was done that, but they should have staggered them. It would have probably saved
Yeah,
more.
up and down,
Yeah,
like
because putting a wingtip
zigzag
to wingtip, the fuel tanks are in the wingtip. You blow one up, boom, 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 boom. It's dominoes.
dominoes.
Yeah, you just, and that's why we could not, get, we couldn't get any planes up, even though we did actually fire the first shot in Pearl Harbor when we
Yeah,
sunk a scout midget sub, because they noticed something's not right. Something was displacing water that shouldn't be there. And
yeah,
they reined it in. They said, well, if you think something's there, take it out. Because
yep,
we knew that there was an attack coming. We knew that. The only reason the planes got through is because we were supposed to have a squadron of, I believe it was B2s coming in. We had a bomber squadron coming in from a run that day. And that was what we thought it was. And they're like, oh, yeah, we have a squadron coming in. Didn't check it. It
yep.
was actually a private plane, I believe, was giving a flight lesson, that they saw a big red zero on the plane, and they're like, that ain't supposed to be here. And yeah, and then the rest is obviously history. We all
Yeah.
know what happened.
Hey, we all seen Pearl Harbor, the movie.
Yeah, and that actually, the part with the flight school, that actually did happen. That was legitimate. That wasn't just made up
Well,
for the movie. That actually
well,
is true.
I'd say around 50% of the movies was accurate.
Yeah,
About half of it.
I would maybe say 40, but yeah, it's a good movie for entertainment, not so much on the
Historicity.
historicity, but there were some parts, such as how they did depict the planes, the bomber squadron that was reported that it was supposed to be a bomber squadron, not a, well, I mean, it was a bomber squadron, but it wasn't our bomber squadron.
Yeah.
That was reported right. The the ships that sunk and how that kind of happened was fairly accurate. So the bombing sequence was accurate, I'll give it that, but the rest was all
Yeah.
and didn't they show Doolittle bombers?
I don't. It's been so long since I've
Yeah, it's
seen
been
it.
years since I've watched it. I think they showed the Doolittle bombers, and that's another really, I mean, you want to talk about some guts. Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't got enough fuel to run the whole mission, but you're going to go run it anyway.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's just that. That's insane.
yeah, that is. Um, but yeah,
Just like the kamikaze pilots.
yeah,
Half the no more than half the time, more than 90% of the time, they expected to survive. They didn't expect, they weren't expected to sacrifice themselves.
yeah,
They were just called
but
that because kamikaze at the time didn't mean suicide. Now it means, for some reason, it means suicide. Kamikaze actually means great wind or wind of the god, wind
yeah,
of the gods.
yeah.
That's
One
what
movie
kind
I
of
one movie I do recommend if you want a really good, pretty well historical depiction of Pearl Harbor and the events of it and after. Tora Tora Tora.
okay.
That I would say is fairly accurate from what I remember seeing of it. It's been years since I've seen it, but I remember being a really good one. But yeah, since we really don't have any more questions from the chat that I see, and we got really off topic, I think I might
Yeah.
end it here. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Chrismer, for coming on. I really do appreciate it. And everyone else, have a good night, day, evening, morning, whatever time frame it is for you. Thanks for tuning in.